KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. KM Radio. Thanks for everyone tuning in. A lot of great sports this weekend. College football, the championship round was a heck of a. I mean, there were so many good games. The Western Kentucky game, that was a close game, 49-41. Yeah, that was a good game. The
Cincinnati-Houston game was pretty good too.
Cincinnati-Houston game, I know I'm looking at. I was like, Cincinnati ends up undefeated. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing job by them guys.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the mix. Michigan beating Iowa.
Oh yeah,
that was a heck of a victory.
Yeah, that was
Pittsburgh
a statement game for Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines too.
Sure was, because I really think if he didn't do anything this year, I think he would have been out of there.
Yeah, the heat would have been definitely up under his feet.
Yeah, he definitely was feeling the coals this year. No doubt. And then Louisiana being App State. I mean, that was a good game. It was 24-16. Yeah, watch some of that. That was a good game. And then Alabama finding a way to beat Georgia. I mean, I was really surprised at that. I really thought Georgia was going to – I thought this was their time to get back at Alabama, but I guess, just goes back to coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, because they really
they played a good game. And for the majority of the game, I was like, okay, Georgia might do this. Then Alabama decided to show up, and it's, the rest is history. But
just like the last week when they played Auburn, had them on the ropes, took them to overtime, just couldn't close the deal. You know what I mean? And Bryce Young for Alabama had a stellar day. He threw for like over 400 yards.
Yeah,
3 TDs, no interceptions. They ran for over 100. Georgia, like I said, Georgia came out in the first quarter, was up 3-0. I think they were up 10-0, and then Alabama put it on it. You know what I mean? And then Georgia scored another one. Then Alabama scored another one in the third, and Alabama scored 10 more. It was close for a second, and then Alabama turned the juice on, and it just wasn't close anymore. That's for sure. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but Alabama doing what Alabama does. We got a bunch of bowls coming up. I haven't got for the national championship. This week we got this week we got some, or the 20th we got some bowls going on. Actually starting on the 18th or 17th. We got a bunch of bowls coming to watch. I think we got, who did the Independence Bowl get? Because I was looking at.
Okay, so I'm give me a second. I'm gonna look that up because I had it.
Yeah,
I had it pulled up, but
Rose Bowl is going to be Utah and Ohio State. That should be a good one. The Sugar Bowl ought to be pretty good with Baylor and Mississippi. Orange Bowl with Georgia and Michigan should be a good one. And then we'll kind of I'm trying to see Gator Bowl, Las Vegas Bowl, Music Bowl. I know we're not on the top 10 anymore. I know that on the Independence Bowl. Armed Forces Bowl's famous. Yeah, I don't. And then New Orleans Bowl is going to be Louisiana Marshall. Ought to be a good game.
I'm looking at. I'm not seeing it yet. It's not pulled up yet.
Little horse news. Bob Baffert's media spirit, the one that won the Kentucky Derby, died of a heart attack. Sure, there's going to be a big investigation on that. Sad for the owners. Definitely sad news in horse racing. They saw where Purdue is first time ever ranked number 1 in basketball.
Yes, first time.
Yeah, first time ever, which is I thought was pretty good. I mean, which is
awesome for them guys.
Yeah, a lot of those programs, like we always talk about, just don't get the credit that they deserve because they're not in the main frame of the TV deals.
Right.
Like your Kentuckys and UConns and so forth. But yeah, definitely a great weekend of college football. I mean, going into the pros, man.
Yeah. Before you get to the pros, I did look it up. The Independence Bowl for this year is number 12 BYU against the UAB.
Okay. Ought to be a good
should be a good matchup.
Should be a very good for the city.
BYU is a explosive team, and the UAB has been making a lot of noise on the radar as far as like their program starting to come along. They're starting to get some good players out of there, so it should be a good matchup.
Oh, it should be a great one. It should be a great game to watch, go to. Always a great tailgate atmosphere. But yeah, I'm getting into the pros, man. We got to talk about your Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, in all consideration, 27-17.
Right.
In all consideration, I mean, I'm not saying the Cowboys were ever – well, there was a time when I thought, the Saints could pull this out. It was Dallas came out and scored, then the Saints scored in the second quarter. Dallas put up another 6. But it was like we were talked about last week. I mean, without a viable quarterback, what's the word you always use? Without a serviceable quarterback.
Serviceable.
We're not even serviceable. And I hate to say this, but Jason Hill isn't serviceable.
No, he's not a quarterback. He has the capabilities of making some great plays, but he's not a quarterback. And that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah,
that job is not for everyone. So
no, it's not. Yeah, the 4 interceptions was just too much. You couldn't. This score should have been way more than what it was.
It should have been way worse than what it was.
So
I will give them
interceptions.
that.
Yeah, it just. I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, they're. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do or how you go forward with him on being at the court. I know there was a lot of heat after the game about. I mean, my gosh, they wanted this guy's head, which is understandable. The Saints fans deserve better. Great sports town, great following, and it's just not there.
No,
it's just like you said. He's good to come in for a play or two.
Yeah,
as a catback or a trick play.
Yeah,
but
gadget guy. What they say, what he is gadget guy. But running a offense or he doesn't have the reps. To lead your team to victory or things of that nature. But he can make some plays.
He can. He's a great football player.
Yeah, and he's a great football player. But you need a great quarterback this time of the year. And, of course, we're out of playoff contention and, that's out. But at the same time, gotta have that guy. Unfortunately for the better half of the season, we didn't. We went
right.
We had to go through the list of the 2 to the 3s. So it is what it is. I feel like I didn't think the Saints were going to win the game because of that, and it didn't. But I thought that the score was going to be a lot more to chew than it did. 10-point win. 10 points. It's okay. A loss is a loss, yes, but it's how you lose. So.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
Yeah. Second game is how about the Lions getting their win?
Yes.
How about the Lions?
How
nice,
about
very
those
nice.
Lions? Jared
How
Goff.
about the Lions?
Jared Goff, man, the hero of the day. But that's Minnesota. We say it. You never know which Minnesota team you can get. You can get two different teams in the same game.
You could first half, second half.
You have to play to the wire, and congratulations to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. And,
what a better way to win your first game than to win it against your division rival. Yeah,
and what's funny is going into the half, the Detroit Lions were ahead 20-6.
Right.
So they were ahead. Really, they were ahead almost the whole game, if not the whole game. I think in the third quarter was 23-15,
mm-hmm.
and then it was, and then really, it was 20. Yeah, and so, they held on. They had, like I said, and Golf had a good. Yeah, he had one pick, 3 TDs, almost 300 yards. Wasn't bad at all. He, like I said, they. It was good to see them win. I didn't want them to go undefeated. I don't know what they'll be able to do going forward, but hey, the Lions won one, and that's good to see. Right. Tampa Bay and the Falcons. The Falcons played them tough. They lost by 13. Wasn't surprised by the outcome because, like I said, Atlanta plays them tough. And at one point, Atlanta was right there in it. It was 20-17, and then it became 27. And then they just kind of put it on. Brady had another stellar day, 4 TDs, right. 368 yards. He had one pick, but again, like I said, they definitely put it together.
Yeah, they put it together, and they asserted their dominance. The addition of Leonard Fournette to that team has been a valuable asset for Tom Brady, especially with the whole thing. That's with the whole Antonio Brown thing, and I think there's one other player, with the false COVID test cards. So they've been suspended for that. So but with Leonard Fournette and the other guys stepping up, they're forced to be reckoned with. So, I had to say good luck to everybody that's coming for them because it looks like they got their switch turned on. And people say, they beat the Falcons, but the Falcons may lose games, but they play tough. They may lose games, but they're going to play you tough. So,
Hey, you got to win them. Yeah, it was a game they were supposed to win. They did. Now, Kyle Murray came back this week for Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really throw the ball a lot. Threw it 15 times for 123 yards, 2 TDs. They ran for 160 yards. I don't know. I was kind of surprised. I would have thought he would throw for a little bit more. Maybe still having some issues. That could definitely. Andy Dalton, 4 interceptions, and that what's so crazy is, and that's the victory. That's how the Cardinals won. This game was won because Kyle Murray obviously didn't put it in the air.
No,
he only threw for 100-some yards.
Right.
They ran for 150. It wasn't like they had unbelievable. You look at the Cardinals numbers, and there's nothing. 123 yards in the air and 140 yards on the ground. They had 2 TDs. But the interceptions. Yeah. And that's Andy Dalton and he had played good. I'd seen Andy. I said, Andy's starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but those 4 interceptions. He just
killer. You can't win when you throw 4 of them. 4 turnovers is hard to come back from. You can't win, especially against Arizona's defense.
No, not especially against Arizona's defense. You're really digging a hole. You're digging a hole for yourself. And that's exactly what happened on this game because you take away those 4 interceptions, and this easily could have been a Chicago victory. But the good teams capitalize on mistakes, and the bad teams make a lot of mistakes. That's just kind of how it goes. The Rams and the Jaguars, the Rams did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Right.
I won't even say what I expected them to do because they're so up in the air that it's hard for me to Matt Stafford, he did what he was supposed to do, threw for 295 yards, 3 touchdowns. But one of the key here is they ran the ball very well.
Sony Michel showed up.
Yeah, sure did.
Sony Michel showed up.
Sure did. And that's what I think. That's what I think the LA's been catching a lot of slack over is inconsistency. You know what I mean? I know they only have 4 losses, but there's a couple of them that they really stunk up the house and they still won, but that's okay. That's football. But I think they're expecting more out of. Like I said, they spent a lot of money. That team has spent a lot of money. They were built to win. A lot of money. They were built to win.
Hearing the names like we heard when they was talking about them acquiring them. We're not hearing their names a lot.
Not at all. So this team is built to win right now. So and they're under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. They got to be more consistent than what they have been. If they want to have a shot at the Super Bowl. Ben. Every time I want to count him out, he comes right back and he leads them into. Leads them. And so going with Lamar Jackson and going on the Ravens and this is across the NFL. These teams are so equally matched now that anybody can be beaten. It's just there's no nobody's so over dominating that it's like, oh, there's no way Pittsburgh washed up Ben Roethlisberger can't beat Lamar Jackson. Well, my friend, they beat him. You know what I'm saying? And the Ravens are 8-4. They're not but at the end of the day, they can be beat. And that's basically what we're saying. But all of them can be. They're like I said, there's nobody in the league right now that I just like, oh wow, just really afraid of facing them. Because you've seen Brady have bad days. You've seen Ben have bad days. You've seen Allen have. The list goes on and on. So it just is what it is. When we get back, we're going to continue going over our scores from last week or Sunday's games, and then we'll go for it on the spread and everything. I want to thank everyone, like I always do. Me and Big Lou want to extend our Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy the holiday season. We appreciate everyone for tuning in to KM Radio. Like I said, every Tuesday night, we're on the air right here on KM Radio where we go ham. KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, KM Radio. Like I said, tune in to KM Radio. 7 days a week, always great programming, great music. Give it a listen. So we just covered the Ravens, talking about Big Ben, pulling it out. The Broncos and the Chiefs, that's always a tight game. Kansas City came out. Bridgewater threw for 2 interceptions. Had a decent day, 257, 1 TD. Mahomes had an interception, and Mahomes only threw for 184 yards.
Right.
And they just capitalized. They just capitalized on some bad play, which is what they're supposed to do. And they won the game. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead. I think then Denver came back 3. The Kansas City put, going into the fourth quarter, it was just 13-3. But it's a tough game. These two always play each other.
They always play each other tough. And gone are the days that I had to remind, because a lot of people give the Chiefs flack for the way they win. But we said it at the beginning of the season, the 35, 38, 42, the high scoring, those Chiefs, these are not those Chiefs. We're not going to see the 38, the 12s, and the 42, the 14s. We're not going to see this. We're not going to see this out of this team. Why? No running game. You have your quarterback that's working his way out of a semi-slump, so to speak. You know, the defense is clicking. You know, they're starting to click. All they got to do is mesh it. But I think gone are the high-flying, high-scoring offense that we've come accustomed to because of the Super Bowl run and the season before that. But I think those days are gone. You know, these Chiefs are going to squeeze out wins. You know, and we're just going to have to accept it.
Well, I think it goes back to us talking about the NFL being very equally matched. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I said, I hate using any given Sunday, but really it's any given Sunday.
Right.
Anybody they could go either way. This year has been crazy with the spreads and upsets and this and that. I mean, it really has been crazy. Going into next game is the Colts.
Oof.
Colts handled up on the Texans. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah, you know,
anything.
Anything spectacular. We was probably maybe expecting 7 to 10 points out of them. A touchdown and a field goal, maybe, or either or both.
But you know what's so funny is that Carson Wentz threw for 158 yards. It wasn't. So what they're doing is they're doing good old hard-nosed football. I think they ran for over 200 yards because Jonathan Taylor had 143 by himself, and then there was a couple other thirds. Yeah, that 200 probably almost close to 250 yards. They did it, you know, their way, how they're playing ball, and they're going to be a threat going into the playoffs. There's absolutely no doubt about that. A team to watch, and I said it earlier. I said, man, all they needed was all Wentz has to do is not lose the game.
Right. All he
play
has
quarterback.
To do is
manage the game.
Play your job.
Yep. And they'll be fine. Now the Dolphins and the Giants.
Yeah.
I know, right? But
so what do we do with Tua? He's showing up.
Now, I like him. I like him. I think they're giving him. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think they're giving him
it hard.
Yeah, and I think what they needed to do with him before was, you know, just what they're doing now is protect him a little bit, give him some more options. I think they were throwing him in under fire, and he wasn't that guy. And I don't know who is that guy. But I think he's, you know, I think he's healing. I think he's doing better, and I think we'll see good things out of him. I definitely do, and I think we're going to see good things out of the Miami Dolphins. Like I said, they have a plethora of talent. The number one draft choices that they have or that they got and traded, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. So the talent's there. They just got to put it all together. No doubt in my mind. But yeah, they beat up on the New York football team, who is in. I don't know. I think they're going to self-implode.
Yes.
By the end of the season, I think they have to. I think they have to just say, okay, put it all down the drain. Eagles and the Jets. I mean, the Eagles.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
They won. Yeah, they won with him.
Mr. Mustache attacks.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a pretty good game. The score doesn't say it, but it was an all right game. It was an entertaining game.
Yeah, because I mean, it's going into the half. It was 24-18. It wasn't like it was out of. It wasn't like it was out of reach or it was, you know. And I think Philly put up 9 more points, which kind of just put it to the, you know, that was it. It was a good. They were pretty easily stacked. Philly's trying to fight to get in that playoff spot. Don't think they're going to make it with their record. They're 6-7. They have a shot. I don't know. They're gonna have to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of, if they're gonna have a chance at it, they're gonna have to beat the Cowboys. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure the Cowboys aren't looking forward to playing them because they're gonna play them tough. And they have a decent squad. They really have a decent squad. How about the Chargers coming in into the Bengals' house and doing what they want to do.
Handled
business. And so here's the other thing. The weather was cold. The Chargers came in, but the Chargers are another team, heavily talented.
Mm-hmm.
Should be, the Chargers are 7-5.
Yes.
And they have stunk up the house a couple times on some of their. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, they had some head scratching losses. They have a couple of them on their record. A couple of head scratches.
Absolutely, but they played. If they can find their consistency level, Justin Herbert's a stud. He had one interception, threw for a lot of yards.
Mm-hmm.
What you're starting to really pay attention to in the league is these teams that are winning. They all have something in common. They have a good running game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to establish a running game, because if you put it all on the quarterback, he's still. He's only been in the league. The mistakes are made, and there's not a lot of room for errors in this league.
And makes the defense press
work way too hard. Yeah, just on the field too long.
You don't wear a defense out going 3 and out. That doesn't wear a defense out. Picking up first downs, grounding and pounding, making those offensive lines move forward. That's what wears out the defense. But if you're going 3 and
absolutely,
out,
And the Chargers coming in beating the Bengals. A lot of people put a lot of money on the Bengals.
Yes, they did.
I was a little bit, because I thought the San Diego was going to lay another egg, but they didn't. They have a lot of talent, and like I said, and the Bengals are moving in the right direction. Whatever happens this year, it happens, and next year there's no telling what they're going to pick up. So definitely moving in the right direction. Washington football team. Hey man, they're actually, believe it or not, they're starting to do a little clicking there.
Yeah, they're making a little noise in that division now.
Yeah, they're another one Dallas may have a little problems with.
Yes.
And the Raiders, they've won a couple games. I didn't think they were going to win. Carr didn't throw up any interceptions. They ran for about 75 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really blame it on Derek Carr.
Right.
But it just was a tight game. Washington came out and scored, and going into the fourth quarter, it was 7-6. It was a tight game.
Right.
And then Washington put some stuff on some meat on the plate, and then the Raiders came right back, scored 9 of their own. So, but that was a good game. It was a very good game.
Yeah.
It was a very entertaining game to watch. Definitely. Now, this one here, I'm a little surprised at. I am, but I'm not. They always play each other super tough. Seattle and San Francisco.
Right.
Just when I thought Jimmy G was getting in a rhythm, he throws 2 picks, and Seattle just jumped all over him, and they won. San Fran could have been 7-5, which they need to be. And they need to just stay in the hunt. Now they're 6-6, and they got 5 games left.
Right.
And they're going to have to. To be honest with you, I think they have to win out to really have a shot. They might be able to lose 1, and go 10-7 maybe, but I think they have to win out. And Seattle, they're done. They have a shot. They have a shot of winning, of ending up 9-8, winning percentage. But as far as a playoff run, I don't think they have. I think mathematically, they have a shot, but I don't see. Let's do this. Okay. Let me see more. So
it's like with San Fran, it's like, especially with Garoppolo, and they did put that out there about he may be being, shipped after the season, and they're going to start Trey Lance. Maybe it was just a rumor put out there, but games like these kind of justify their reasons. Their reason, it's like they like the guy, but his shortcomings really hurt the team. And
absolutely.
And losing against and
really,
playing bad against Seattle, that that's in your division that you can dominate. It kind of it's not good for your resume.
Yeah, Cardinals are 10-2. Seattle's 4-8.
Mm-hmm.
They have a shot of having a winning record, whatever that's, and that's worth something. I think the Cardinals and the Rams, they can't catch up to them unless the Rams just really, really fold. But they're coming off a good victory,
right?
And I think they're too far ahead. The Packers are 9-3. Nobody in their division. The Buccaneers are 9-3. It doesn't look like there's anybody in their division.
Right.
Because what are we sending? We're sending 6 to the playoffs or 5. Or what do we send? We only got one team that gets a bye. Whoever ends up with the best record. And that it looks like right now it's Cardinals. So it's going to be the other two. So we're going to have the other two and two wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would be a tough one. But right now it looks like the Buccaneers. In the NFC, it looks like the Buccaneers. Well, I'm saying that. So the 4 right, the Cowboys, the Cardinals, the Packers, and the Buccaneers. And like I said, Washington has a shot to catch Dallas, but I really think Dallas is going to end up being either 10-7 or 11-6. I don't know, somewhere in there, and they may go. I don't know. Their schedule. They got to play the Cardinals. We'll see what that's about, and then they got to play the Eagles. So it'll be interesting.
Hot Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, it could go. AFC, Patriots are 8-4. Bills are 7-4. Chiefs are 8-4. Chargers are 7-5. Those are tight runs. The Raiders could, if they could pull it together, they may have. Really, if the Broncos went on a 5-game winning streak, the Ravens are 8-4. The Bengals are 7-5. And the Titans are 8-4. The Colts and Titans. That's going to be a good.
It's going to be a good.
That's going to be a good one. And so the Ravens and the Bengals. Really, if you look at the AFC, the Patriots and the Bills pretty close, 8-4, 7-4. The Chargers and the Chiefs are 8-4. Chargers are 7-5. The Ravens are 8-4. Bengals are 7-5. So the top 2 teams in each division are. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Steelers actually have even the Browns have a mathematical in the AFC North. So anything is definitely possible. I mean, mathematically, the Dolphins. There's a lot of. I mean, in the next 4 weeks, I think we'll see. I think we'll eliminate a lot of people. And now's the time to get hot. I mean, now's the time.
Yeah, now is the time to turn the furnace up a little.
Yeah, now's the time to get everybody in the same page and in the same zone, because he who gels at the end of the season seems to win the Super Bowl when it all kind of comes together. Right. I think, and the Patriots are definitely gelling. They've won 5 in a row. I mean, so have the Chiefs. The Chiefs have won 5 in a row. The Dolphins have won 5 in a row.
Yes,
I realized 5 weeks ago the Dolphins were 1-7. I mean, that's pretty.
Trying to figure it out.
And now they're 6-7.
Out of there, trying to get them out of there.
Yep.
Sean Watson it's shut all that down.
Yeah, and then what will be interesting. What happens with all that with Deshaun Watson, because it's just too much. It's too much distraction. You know what I mean? And nobody seems to know what's going to happen.
Right.
Not trying to get into that conversation, but at the end of the day, that's going to play a factor of who picks him up, if they pick him up, if he ever plays football again. We'll see. You know what I mean? They don't have nothing to do with us, but I mean, it's a factor. Like I said, I think at the end of the season, I think, like we talked about before, I think Wilson and I think Green Bay, I just forgot, Aaron Rodgers. I think those would be 2 noticeable quarterbacks that will be on the beyond the market. Cousins may even be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, he could be there. I mean, there'll be some other names, but not as big as those. But I think it'll be interesting to see because, like I said, you know, there's a couple teams that, like I said, look at the Colts. The Colts are a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
They're a really good team, and I said last year, I said, man, all they need is a quarterback. They got the coaching, the running, they got the defense. They just need a serviceable quarterback that's not going to do anything stupid. That doesn't have, you know, and we're going to put him in a position of winning the game. You know what I mean? Where he, you know, if he's not, he don't have to throw 40 times to put us in the game, or to, you know, to even have us to have a chance of having a chance of winning. But that's just kind of where we're at. We get back. We got a few stats. We still got a little bit of time. We get back. We're going to go over our spreads for this week of the NFL. So we're going to go over the spreads. Been kind of crazy. And hey, man, like I said, weather's starting to play a factor, guys. Please watch that weather because I'm telling you, the East Coast games, the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Ravens. These are places that weather plays a huge factor. Well, listen, stay tuned. KM Radio, we go ham.
Ham.
KM Radio, we go ham at your boy Tony G and Big Lou. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, like I do every week. If you're just tuning in, we covered college ball. We covering the scores from last week. We're about to go over some spreads, see what we can do, make some money. A lot of good games this week. So let's see what we can do. Game one, Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings. They're playing in a dome, playing in Minnesota. Minnesota's -3. Pittsburgh's coming off a big win. Minnesota's coming off a loss. You know, the question is, can Big Ben? Can they beat Minnesota in Minnesota? Because here's the deal: Big Ben wins this week, and they're in the playoff talk. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you know with Cousins playing with Minnesota playing up and down, it's hard to. I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh +3. Watch for the COVID. Like I said, you got to watch the COVID list because what was it? One of those college games that Utah was in. There was 20 players that weren't on the field because that changes all kind of stuff. God. And that was crazy. 20 players, 20 starting players. So Pittsburgh, I like Pittsburgh +3. The over's 44. I'm gonna stay away from the over under, but I do like Pittsburgh. Now the next game is Kansas City and the Raiders. This is a very interesting game because they play each other very, very tight. It's an early game. It's 1 o'clock. Kansas City is -9.5. May go to 10. The Raiders are a dome team now. And it's going to be cold in Kansas City, something to think about. Might want to check Sunday game time to see how bad the weather is. This is going to be a close one, I think. I really think it's going to be, and that's where the 9.5 points get kind of – because, again, these are two teams that have played each other a bunch of times to play each other.
Division rivals are always hard games. Because you see each other.
These guys have been rivals for many, many years. I think Kansas City wins. I think they may win by 6 or 7, maybe not 9.5. No. But the money line is like -435, and I wouldn't even say about. You might lean towards the Raiders plus. If it goes up to 10, I may even say, hey, take the Raiders with the over 48.5. Because I think the East can score 20 to 30 points. So right now I'm leaning towards the Raiders and the over. But again, I have to wait I got to wait. I got to get some more. It's still early in the week. Injury reserve list I got to see, and I got to see the COVID list, and we got to see the weather. all factors that you got to pay attention to, guys. But right now, definitely like the Raiders. Game 3 is your New Orleans Saints against the New York Jets. The under's 43, which is a very low. So here's my question to you: how do the Saints go forward? How do they go forward in this particular situation against the Jets?
Which is good. That's a good question because we all know that Saints is not a team that plays well in the cold. It's going to be cold in New York.
Yes, there it is.
So, we don't play well in the cold, but we do play the AFC East. We do play them tough.
Yep.
I just have no confidence in the quarterback play of my team, and I've been proven right for the last 2 games. So, Jets are 3-9. They're still searching, figuring out who they are, but they're at home. They got crowd momentum. They playing those type of elements. So, it's hard for me to say, but, the Jets could pull it off.
+5, +5.5. The other thing is if the Saints if they could just find a serviceable quarterback to just throw 10, 15 times for 150 yards,
right.
I feel the running game and the defense could pull this game off.
Right.
But putting the ball in a backup quarterback's hands to go past 30 times, I think is just a formula. I don't know about this one. I might stay away from this one. If the weather's real bad, I would take New York. Mm-hmm. The under is very attractive at 43. I don't see. Yeah, the Jets. Yeah, that's all you can say.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. Yeah,
right.
The quarterback play is just too erratic for the Saints. Next game is the Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee's -9. It's going to should be cool in Tennessee. I like Tennessee, even at the state they're in,
right?
Because they're still playing the same football.
Right.
Just not with Henry. They have another big back, and no, he's not Henry. But they're playing their football. They haven't changed. We're gonna run it. Maybe pass. Pass, run, pass, run. It's still the same football team, which I really like. Because hey, man, stay true to your game, and good things will happen. I like Tennessee -9 at home. I don't really care for the over/under on this, but I do like Tennessee at home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns. They got Cleveland as a 2-point favorite, -2.5. So I think the Ravens will put it together this week.
Mm-hmm.
When Cleveland puts together their running game, they're pretty dangerous. But for some reason, Cleveland just hasn't put it together. I think Cleveland's moving in the right direction. They may not be moving at the speed that people want them to move in Cleveland, but I think they're moving in the right direction. A lot of people give the quarterback a lot of slack, and I know at times because he's a little bit over the top. He's a little cocky, and he doesn't deliver all. He don't have the behind the back up. He can't cash the checks he's writing. I don't know how else to put it. Try not to but he's very he's smart. I think he can be good in this league. I know it's going in his 3rd, 4th year or whatever, but I think he definitely can like I said, with a couple more pieces. I like the Ravens to bounce back. If the Ravens don't bounce back,
jury's out.
The Ravens, yeah.
You don't bounce back from this one, jury's out.
Yeah, I think the Ravens
with a banged up Baker Mayfield.
Yes, I agree. And it'll be cold in Cleveland, and the Ravens play in Baltimore, so it doesn't really matter. But I like the Ravens to bounce back from their loss. Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers. This ought to be one. Everyone knows Atlanta doesn't travel well.
Right.
Carolina Panthers. I mean, I like Atlanta. I do. I like Atlanta. Carolina hasn't showed me. I mean, Cam had, 2 good games?
Maybe 1.5.
Maybe 1.5. He had 1.5. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just doesn't have it anymore or it's not a fire in his heart anymore. I know it's a limited play.
It hits him hard. Quarterbacks, they don't gracefully decline. They fall off a cliff. And
you're right.
He's like the little rocks are falling from under him right now. It's crumbling. Yeah. He hasn't fell over yet, but it's crumbling.
Yeah, I agree. And what's so crazy is, maybe he's not surrounded by what he needs. And it goes back to the old Tom Brady thing. Keep surrounding him. Whatever his weakness is, they hide it. Or
right.
They don't even try it. And I don't know. But Cam's not in the position for them to build another team around him. I mean, he's been in the league. He's in a position where if you come in and you make a really good run, you might get another contract, and maybe we can talk about what you want.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Atlanta. All right, here's another one. Dallas Cowboys, Washington football team. Washington football team is +4. This is going to be a tough game.
Right. It's going to be a defensive slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
It's going to be a defensive game. Right. They're in Washington. Yeah. So,
it's going to be a tough, If Washington don't get up for one game, it's going to be this one. What I mean? This is going to be. I like the under. It's 48.5. I like the under. I maybe stay away from the spread. It's 4.5.
Right.
If it goes up any, like I said, you got to watch the COVID and the injured reserve list. But I definitely like I like the under because I think it's going to be a good defensive game. No doubt. Seattle and Houston. Seattle flying high. Houston. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor. I like Seattle in this game. They've had Tyrod in their back pocket. They know how he plays, and so yeah.
I even like the over 42 if it comes down any lower because I don't know, but we'll definitely wait. Yeah, I like Seattle -7.5. Can the Detroit Lions win 2 in a row in Denver? They're up and down. They play. I mean, Denver plays so up and down that it's crazy.
Right.
The over's 42. And Detroit doesn't play well out in the weather. That's been their thing, and they're going to be in Denver, and it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm. Ball's going to be hard.
The ball's going to be hard. There's no doubt about that. I like Denver -8. I like the over 42. Mm-hmm. I like Denver, and I like the over. Definitely do. Next game is San Francisco 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals. This is a must-win, I think, for both of them if they want to go to the playoffs.
Right.
So wait for the IR report into reserve. Pay attention to who's out for San Fran. Make sure there's no key defensive players. Make sure Jimmy's going to play. Cincinnati's going to be playing at home. They're coming from a loss. Mm-hmm. It's -1. It's basically a pick 'em. I don't know yet on this one. This is one that I think is going to be a really, really good game, and I think somebody's going to be heartbroken Sunday because I think whoever loses is going to be too far out of the not too far out, but it's going to be a heavy burden on them to come back in the playoff. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're done. I'm just saying they are going to. It's going to be. It's going to be a hard fight uphill. Mm-hmm. That's for damn sure. Then the over's 47. And this one, wait for the weather. This is another key one because it could snow in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So just even though San Fran's cold, don't get me wrong, San Francisco is very cold. Pay attention to weather. Pay attention to IR. This is a Sunday morning pick for me. This isn't a Tuesday night pick. There's a lot of things taken into consideration. Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay. This is another must-win. not for Tampa Bay, but for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
This is your chance to play an elite team and to put yourself in that position to say, hey, we can play with the big dogs. This is going to be this is our big dog. Tampa Bay is the big dog. We have a corner, all-pro corner that's out. Their defense can be had. Tom can be had. But at the same time, our defense can be had. Allen can be had. This is a very tight matchup. The over's 52. This is another game time decision because this is going to be Buffalo's got to win this. You know what I mean? They have to win these games because you've got to be able to beat teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I mean? You have to be able to say, hey, we have a chance of winning a Super Bowl. Then you have to be able to hang your head on the big boy victories. You know what I'm saying? What was that movie? The other guys, the cops. You got your big boy pants on. You got your big boy pants on. You better have your big boy pants on. That's what it is. Yeah, because that's it. So that's a game time pick for me. Next game is Chicago Bears, Green Bay. Tough rivalry, been going on for years and years. I think Green Bay is gonna smoke them.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers in this one.
They're minus 12,
and the Bears.
They're at
Dalton
home.
has nothing for Green Bay's defense.
Really does. And, I've seen Andy play a few times. Actually, I watched him play quite a few times this year, and I've seen him like on a few games and said, "All right, man, Andy Dalton's coming back." We were just talking about this earlier before the show. Right. And then last week it was just like, oh, Anderson, you
Andy, no, not this Andy.
Yeah.
This Andy can stay behind. We need the other Andy.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Green Bay, it's 12.5. I like Green Bay. The over is 44, depending on the weather, and I would have to wait on the to bet the over. I would have to see the weather because, like I said, weather is a huge. I'll grant it. It could be snowing and they could score 50 points, but a lot of times when that ball's hard like that, it's a run. You know what I mean? And if it's windy, because sometimes it gets windy in Green Bay. You know what I mean? And that ball don't travel well, and then it takes away the extra point. Then it takes away field goals. You know what I mean? We got a 40-mile-an-hour wind that's going far right. You know what I mean? You're changing a lot of stuff. So Green Bay, game time on the over-under, depending what I pick. Now, this next game, to me, is the same thing that we just talked about. This is bring your big boy pants. It's the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Yes. If the Los Angeles Rams want to be taken serious, okay, and Stafford wants to be in that elite, we paid you a lot of money, and let me show you what I can do. He's got to beat Arizona. That's it. There's no this is it, because that team, Los Angeles Rams, was built and paid for to win now. Yes. This year or next year. Not in 5 years, not in 3 years. And like I said, I'm giving next year. I'm giving them another year. Who knows what their cap, what their money situation is? Right. It's Arizona -3. Arizona at home. The over's 52. I like Arizona. I do because the Los Angeles Rams have shown me that they could be not consistent, and the Arizona Cardinals have shown me that they're very consistent. Right. Even with Colt McCoy, you know what I'm saying? They did one thing. So that showed me a lot of what kind of team they were. So I like Arizona. The over, I'm not so on. But again, the Rams got to bring their big boy pants. They want to be really considered to be one of the elite teams. Look, guys, it's been another Tuesday night. We're running out of time. I want to thank Big Lou. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. KM Radio always has great programming. So we'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.